as long as this remains Caleb's goal, I know his goal is to be a professional grappler. I know he wants to compete for the UFC BJJ someday. Um, that's always been a long-standing goal. That one way or another, whether with BJJ or MMA, he wants to have that UFC logo on a uniform that he's earned, man. So I'm Tristan Brown. I'm a brown belt under Corey Brown from Black Tie Jiu-Jitsu. I run the Black Tie Jiu-Jitsu in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Nice, man. Now, I spoke to Caleb a couple months ago with a virtual interview, and he just mentioned that you have a pretty, a fairly extensive history in martial arts. Can you just talk to me through your competitive career, how you got into coaching, and, just kind of give me a rounded out.
Walk you through that?
Walk me through that a little bit.
I started martial arts when I was 11 years old. Pretty typical, like, 90s kid. I was born in the 80s, but pretty typical 90s kid. You're getting picked on at school, and you see a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and you're like, this will solve all my problems. So you beg mom and dad to take you down to the local karate taekwondo school. I did that at 11, trained for a while, for a few years, and then took time off from martial arts, came back at about 28, 29, started heavily competing then, primarily in taekwondo. I was ranked number 11 nationally, won states 2 times, and then kind of made my run at nationals, got my ass kicked. And then right around then, I started dabbling with MMA and kind of had a smoker, or whatever you want to call it, a non-sanctioned match with a guy from American Top Team who just beat my ass in the ground badly. And I was aware that I needed to learn some ground game, but Michigan's a wrestling state, so it's like, I've wrestled with my cousins and stuff, I'll be fine. And then I was like, no, I got to learn this. So I recruited a local blue belt to help me. I trained in his garage for 3-4 years, and then found my way into an actual school, trained there. And I guess that was probably like 14, 15 years ago.
Last time we spoke at it was Arena Series 24. Right?
I think so, yeah.
2 events ago. You had mentioned to me, and I think it was with my buddy Aiden, that Caleb trains full time.
Oh, yeah.
This is what he does
Yep.
for like a job, for lack of a better word. How did you be in the position to allow him to do that? And what are your goals for him as far as accolades and accomplishments go?
I got you. That's a good question. Yeah, man. So my background is in finance outside of all of this. And then I had some life-changing events happen about, 2015? So about 10 years ago. Ended up closing on some businesses down, selling some various properties I had, and then kind of re-looked at life. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? Just trying to find my way through the world. And I was training pretty much every day, full time, as much as I could. Ended up pushing a broom at a local jiu-jitsu gym. Caleb came in at about 10 or 11. He did martial arts striking since he was 5. And he came in then and was just he fell in love with jiu-jitsu at 11 years old, man. And then he wanted to compete as much as he could. So I would routinely send him, if I couldn't go, he would go work Fuji's, and he would work at 12, 13 years old as the person putting the score in, and they would let him enter, and he'd enter, I'm not exaggerating, 8 or 9 brackets. One time he went to a tournament by himself and managed to put our team in I think 4th place, just with sheer number of matches he had that day. He didn't even, I think he took 4 golds that day, but it was just the sheer number of them. Anyways, so yeah, man, he got older, and then by that point in time, I had my own school. We were running it. He's a fantastic instructor. Most people don't realize that. He's probably just as good as an instructor as he is competitor. So he came on as one of my instructors, which gives him the flexibility to train, and that's pretty much what he does, man. He wakes up. He and I usually hit morning class. He has private lessons at 8, and we hit morning class by 9. We're usually training an hour or 2 in the morning. Then we have a break. We'll lift, have another break, come in, hit evening classes, train. So probably trains 5-6 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. To be honest, I mean, he's a machine. And then recently, as some of you know, he's taken up promoting. He's putting on his first ever super fight card, which I've been trying to help him with as much as I can. That kind of popped off, so that's taken a lot of our time.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Yeah. Well, just real quick, what are your goals for his?
Dude, man, that's so tough. Nobody wants to be that hockey dad or baseball dad. You know what I mean? Who's like, come on, live all the dreams I never accomplished. Man, I just want him to do what he was born to do in life, whatever that is, and be happy and love it. I want my son to be happy. I want both my sons to be happy. I have a younger son. He's 16. He's actually a hell of a grappler. He wrestles. In my opinion, he could be a state championship wrestler. His coach agreed with me, and then this year he played football. And it's I'm not gonna push him to do that, right? But as long as this remains Caleb's goal, I know his goal is to be a professional grappler. I know he wants to compete for the UFC BJJ someday. That's always been a long-standing goal. That one way or another, whether with BJJ or MMA, he wants to have that UFC logo on a
Yeah.
uniform that he's earned, man. So as long as that's his goal, I'm going to help him chase it as much as he wants to.
Well, he it's definitely showing. He's been kicking ass, and if
Thank
he keeps
you,
it
yeah.
up, you know, he'll be putting himself in those good positions. And just a final message to the people watching.
Yeah, man. I don't know who all's watching. If my wife sees this, love you. Thank you for putting up with all this nonsense, like me being gone all weekend and being home for 2 hours and designing posters for our super fights. Mom, love you. My mom just got her blue belt. She's 74 years old. Which
Oh, that's
brings me
amazing.
my final
That's
message.
beautiful.
Guys, I don't care who you are. Train jiu-jitsu. I promise you to help you.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much, man.